Welcome to another episode of Flyover State of Film. As usual, I got my co-pilots here with me, Brian, Joe, and Yusef. Guys, glad to have you here for another episode. Let's crack those beers and get into it.
Guys, I'm drinking mead tonight.
Ooh. That sounds very fancy. Is that it?
Wow,
sweet,
glass too.
Some sweet honey wine.
That doesn't look like it. I don't know if I'd be into that.
Did you know that's where the term honeymoon comes from? That, back when you used to
God, is this how old you are, Brian? You're giving us facts?
Welcome.
Hey, what I'm saying is I read the back of a placemat at Applebee's one time and I learned a thing.
That's pretty good to have that start up. What would that?
Welcome to Mead Talk with the DVD bunker.
Yeah. Tons of me talking DVD bunker. And with that news that he gave us, guys, I want to break down some quick news for you that we've got recently. DC is coming out with a lot of stuff. I know you guys are big DC fans, DCEU, if you want to still call it that. You got the Suicide Squad sequel coming out with James Gunn. I know how you guys feel about that and him jumping onto that train.
I mean, he can only improve it, right?
Yeah. I heard they're going to recast, which is weird.
I bet you think they'll still bring back. You got to bring back Will Smith, though, right? Like you can't just not bring back Will Smith, can you?
I mean,
I think it's gonna be
Margot Robbie.
Like Margot Robbie's getting her own movie, so I can see her not coming back because they're
Also,
doing Birds of
she just has
Prey
a
now.
Baseball bat, so
Well, we don't need to get into the specifics of why the first team sucked, but I think you could still have a room for Deadshot on your team in the new one, and Big Willie's a star still.
yeah, absolutely.
And if you're gonna have James Gunn write and direct it, that is going in a great direction instead of David
I'd like
Ayer.
to, and I'm no purist. I would love to hear Will Smith spout some James Gunn dialogue. That sounds fun.
Yeah.
And he would definitely get a little more fun too with his dialogue.
I'm on board with it, but I'm annoyed with the people like, finally, DC's gonna bring it home. They have James Gunn. It's like, just shut the fuck up and just enjoy the movie. Why?
Yeah,
is
why
It's like
Guardians?
the competition aspect of it is so stupid. When they
You know why?
complain, they're like, duh, DC's just trying to rip off James Gunn, and now that they got James Gunn, they're like, look, James Gunn is here. He's gonna make the new Suicide Squad.
Also,
Right.
the first Guardians was probably fucking awesome for James Gunn to do because he had no pressure or spotlight and wasn't a star director then.
Yeah.
Just
So now it's like idiots.
Well, now speaking of like,
every second of this movie will be like we'll know every cast, we'll know who the whole team before they ever even shot a frame of film.
Yeah.
So
Offense,
get
David
ready for that shit.
Yeah. Well, speaking of like recasting all these guys, Matt Reeves, Batman 2021's coming out.
Oh, Governor, I got a proposal for you guys. So now that they're
What was that?
I think that went from Cockney into South African.
they told me to interrupt naturally, so that's how so people are obsessed with Ben Affleck's shin, like it's the most accurate for Batman because he has a butthole in his shin. So I asked the guys, recast your actor, but it has to have the butt chin. So what is the actor that you chose, Brian?
Only cleft chins only.
Only
I'm
butt
going off. I'm glad I got to go first because I got the best one. It's Emily Blunt. She got chin. She can fuck it up as Bruce Wayne. She's badass. We've seen her in Edge of Tomorrow and Sicario. She can do the action and shit. So that's my Bruce Wayne. And I just straight up call her Bruce Wayne. No, like trying to regender her in any way.
Oh,
just,
no.
She is Batman. That's Emily Blunt. Bruce Wayne. Just never even mention it. Like, do not draw attention to it at all. She just plays it totally as if it was a man, but just it's Emily Blunt.
Now, are you calling her Bruce, or is it going to be some stupid nickname like B or?
No, they're going to just, like, if people refer to her as Bruce, they'll just call her Bruce. Like, nobody's going to draw attention to it in any way.
Just let it.
That'd be great.
That would be amazing because that it'll fall right into like the Elseworld concept of whatever they think they're going to do.
Hey,
How about you, Joe?
exactly. We're off the
my
map
God.
with this one.
You gotta follow up. That.
I can't follow up that one, but I'll try. Eminem.
Venom.
He's just like he just showed up to set and was like,
Yeah, I was gonna say
I'm
Andy's
Eminem.
gonna do the soundtrack. Obs.
Yeah. Venom, Batman. You just And he just is like, I don't know, motherfucker, we got the Joker.
Oh, Dark Knight.
He samples
Yeah.
Kiss from a Rose.
See, I could have been a rapper.
Yeah. And then he's just like, why aren't we in Detroit? You know, I was in 8 Mile. I'm Bruce Wayne's.
I mean, but at the same time, do you think you could put on the weight for it? What is he, like 5'4", Eminem?
No,
Eminem just
this shin is just the butt. That's
Eminem just shows up.
He's gonna be just
don't
hitting
care.
shin to face, knocking down the Joker.
He's gonna do that Jackie Chan move where he puts his chin in dude's eye, like just grinds.
And he's just gonna point out all his flaws. He's like, I'm small, I'm skinny, and then the Joker is gonna be like, oh, I have nothing to battle him with. He pointed out everything.
Drops the batarang and walks away.
The Joker does have that look like I've lost a rap battle before. Like that's his whole vibe in the new
Leto.
movies.
Yeah, Leto
Eminem would be a Joker, too. He's gonna play.
I wouldn't be surprised if that actually got tossed around at one point. You know, there's some executive who thought that was a good idea. Around the Ledger casting time, they're like, "What about Eminem? He was red hot 7 years ago. Let's do this."
Oh, you know what? He was probably offered when they were gonna do Darren Aronofsky's idea of Batman, where it was just like Alfred was gonna be a pimp called Big Al, and he drove around in like a Cadillac. You ever read that?
No, and that's
before they made The Dark Knight, it's Batman Begins. One of the scripts was Darren Aronofsky, and it was Batman stripped, loosely based off of Year One. Just look it up; it is hysterically dumb.
So, talking about hysterically dumb, I picked, but this is a legit pick from my heart. I picked Dan Hedaya.
Nice.
The dad from Clueless.
He's also the general in Alien Resurrection. He's in Commando.
39 credits to his name, and he's at the right age of 79, so he's ready to rock and roll the suit. And he has like the deepest motherfucking butt chin in the world.
Is that the dude from Night at the Roxbury?
Yes.
Yes.
The dad?
Like, too, right?
He has hair inside there always because he can't shave it that deep. It's Batman.
It's like the Mariana Trench. It's just so much darker than any other piece of hair on his face. It's just right there.
That's my Batman. How about you, TA?
I went the more of what they did with kind of Michael Keaton, where they took more of a comedic actor and threw him in this role. And I think this guy's butt chin is up there with the best, and he can. We want to see this butt chin in a more serious role, and I'm going with Andy Samberg. Get Andy Samberg. Let's put him in the cow. He can kind of dish away his comedic things. Also, he can maybe add a little bit to a Batman, a little bit more quippy. But I think Andy Samberg with the cow, and he's got a deep.
Bring a little of that Adam West to it, right?
Yes, yes.
You're seeing him on a cow every time you say put him on a cow. He's on a cow.
You can put him on a cow in a cow.
Or wild card, Billy McFarlane, the creator of Fire Festival, could fill out that cow.
He's got the butt chin. I didn't watch those documentaries.
He just kind of looks
that
like
guy.
a douchebag.
In case you were wondering,
I'm looking at him now. No butt chin, but could be Ben Affleck's son.
Son. That means
all I know is that one guy was gonna suck. Well, that's the big takeaway from the Fire Festival documentaries, from what I heard. That's literally the most I could pick up from it.
Well, speaking of sucking
dick for Aquafina,
super bad. The Super Bowl was last night. The game was boring upon boring, but they had some things in between, some trailers that maybe you guys want to talk about. You got like Toy Story 4, Avengers Endgame, Captain Marvel,
Full disclosure, I did not watch any of them.
None of them. Haven't seen any of the spots or any of the Super Bowl trailers.
Then we can skip.
Oh, you know what? I think I saw the Endgame one, and it wasn't much. I was just like, nah, this doesn't really do much for me.
Empty shots. It was cool to see Citi Field empty, like it would be in October
I did see
anyway.
Some speculation that one of the shots, the way they're oddly spaced, somebody was like, they digitally removed a character here. In this shot in the movie, there'll be someone else with them, probably Captain Marvel, whatever, stuff like that. But nothing really like that. I was like, with this one, it's like it's a must-see anyway, so I didn't really expect much. So I was kind of just glad it was real banal because I don't want him to spoil anything.
So thanks, Brian. Brian just spoiled our trailer breakdown. Like I've been knee deep. I haven't slept for 48 hours. I'm just breaking down every fucking frame, and Brian just shit the fucking bed.
Ugh, Brian, god damn it. TJ, I'll say that trailer content. I will say this, one that generally did get me interested, it did its job, is the Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
Yeah.
They're just little spots, not full trailers.
I'm just interested, period.
Yeah.
Like, that getting adapted just has my attention. I think I still have one of those books on my shelf upstairs. Those pictures, those drawings stuck with you. Like, they made it. The fact that they're doing their best to live action that up, that's tight.
Well,
brought it right to
Brian, let me ask you a question. How old's your son? Like 8?
Yes, he's 8.
Okay.
Brian,
so when that movie comes out, though, that'll be about that perfect age. Finally, like, kids, if they want it, will probably have a horror movie they could go see.
Yeah.
Like, those
Not
were those
just
stories.
Goosebumps or House of the Clock in its Walls, but like a legit horror movie of their own.
Yeah. Like, I'm sure the movie is going to be like.
I'm trying to get him to read the book that I have just to kind of get,
It has.
I was very surprised that the kid who would be king, the horror element was pretty tight.
It was pretty dark. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, the bad guy was pretty awesome. I
kind of knew it would be with Joe Cornish because that's the way Attack the Block is too.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of light in tone, and then a kid dies, and you're like, "Holy shit!" Like, this is on now.
And Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark kind of looks like a Trick or Treat version, where obviously it's now or a whole bunch of stories in one. But it would that be something you show your son?
I don't know. It might. I'll have to see more first.
Yeah, because I'm not sure the rating of it.
Well, my point being, though, is
I'd imagine it's going to be PG-13. A lot of horror movies are.
Yeah.
But I'd have to. Usually with that sort of stuff, I have to see it first.
Yeah.
My point being is it's gonna be leaning towards of like it's horror, but you're not gonna like if you show it to a kid, you're just gonna get the scares. It's not gonna be like he saw Saw.
We haven't had that, and they used to. Like, you think about movies like Poltergeist, that was kind of starter horror. The Gate, that's like a starter horror movie, kind of.
That was
even on Nickelodeon.
Really anymore? So
even on Nickelodeon, certain episodes of Are You for the Dark are that exact tone of Scary Stories.
Even
talking about scary stories, how about we talk about football?
Is that a segue?
Segue.
What you call that?
I guess.
Segue.
Well, is there any other trailers that happened during football that you'd like to discuss?
The trailers were on.
The Super Bowl was scary because it sucked. Nobody wanted to jump on that joke. Nobody. Right.
No, it was awful. Just a joke at the Super Bowl.
Hey,
I didn't register it as a joke. I think that was the real problem.
Hey, governor, how about we talk about football movies then?
Now, Brian, did you want to say the best football movies? Is that what you're asking?
I didn't really have I literally was like, we can talk football movies. So if it's like best or just like childhood favorites or most hated or least accurate, whatever you pick your parameter and tell us a little something about it, I guess. Like, you tell us a movie you want to talk about.
All right. Well, The Rock started a movie called The Game Plan. Hard-hitting football drama.
Why did you start with Joe? You gotta start with anyone but Joe.
I'm kidding. The Game Plan.
Joe just jumped in. I didn't start. I mean,
you didn't start. I just started talking. I could talk about one of my favorites, which is The Replacements, which is a great
just
movie.
Pick one and let's go.
All right, I'll pick The Replacements. Keanu Reeves, Gene Hackman. Awesome movie. That's all you need.
Jon Favreau. Who else is on that team in that one? That's a cast, right?
Love, what's his name? He's one of the linemen.
No, you're terrible at this.
Isn't the 7-Up guy in there?
Oh, Orlando Jones.
Yeah.
Juwanna Man.
Orlando Jones is not Juwanna Man.
Yes, he is.
That is not the same person.
That's not the same person.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm 100% sure.
All right, Liam Neeson.
Gotta cut this out. Gotta cut this.
Well,
your favorite.
it's not. I genuinely thought it was Orlando Jones.
All right, take him.
Because they all look the same to you. I get it. We all know what happened.
No,
there.
the guy in Joanna Man.
Wait, now well, I'm going to cut away from this. Is Keanu
Don't cut
Reeves
away.
playing a
Cut away.
version?
TJ, what's your favorite movie?
We're also talking about replacements.
Okay, all right.
Is Keanu Reeves playing a version of the Point Break character?
Yeah, that's like the.
I think so. I think there's definitely some Johnny Utah in this one.
Because I think it's from Ohio State.
This is after he let him get away. You know, he let Pat Swayze get away, and he had to give up the badge, so he had to go back to playing football, I guess.
I mean, isn't Keanu playing a version of Point Break in every single fucking movie though?
Yeah.
It's fair. Now let's talk about the better version of the replacements. Let's talk about Necessary Roughness, guys. Didn't somebody watch it? It didn't actually hold up that well.
Yes, I watched it pretty recently, and it makes no sense. It's kind of boring. I just couldn't get into it. I watched it like a month ago.
I just remember it had Kathy Ireland in the 90s. That's how that drew my attention to it as a child. So,
well, I watched it in 2019.
And it didn't fly, huh?
Wait, so
that's not my pick because my pick is Varsity Blues.
All right.
Ooh, that is a 10. It's a fucking 10.
Not only is that a great football movie, but it's a great high school movie, a great coming of age movie. I all the time find myself saying, "I don't want your life." That's like a full-on classic line for me. I got the peak beak here in this one. Allie Larder,
shout out Allie Larder.
Amy Smart in this one too. I don't know. There's a lot of
Gary Hill, Allie Larder.
It's so good that made the parody actually good. And
I like Not Another Teen Movie.
Yeah, but the dude played himself in the parody, which was awesome.
Yeah, that's solid.
No, Varsity Blues is one of those movies where like you would watch it before football games, and like it gave you like that. It made you. It gave you that like high school like football feel to it. Yeah. And also
because
they
overcame their asshole coach and but still, it's not like you think about Dazed and Confused, and it's like he becomes his own man by like kind of giving up baseball and pushing it away as coaches, but they don't need their coach in Varsity Blues. They for the love of the game, and they become their own man, and they take it, and they go out and win for their own reasons. So
let's talk about
some good football.
Your life.
Right there.
Let's talk about the real good scene in that movie, the teacher stripping scene.
Yeah,
well, yeah.
That's
this was that peak period of the '90s where American Pie had come out, and they were like, "Oh, we can put boobs in movies again. We're just gonna do that in every movie now."
Yeah, but I feel like that would happen in Texas, where a teacher in a small town where it's just football would.
That happens all the time now. I mean, teachers got to eat, right?
Yeah,
might as well. And that's not. And I'm not. That's no knock to any teachers out there that could.
Do you want to step on a landmine, TJ? Like Joe already took one hit.
Guys, I've been living my life thinking Orlando Jones was Joanna Man. I would have said that with 100% fact.
My pick was Any Given Sunday, 1999.
Oh, yes.
Al Pacino just eating up every fucking scenery that he could find. He had so much carpet in his teeth, and he had parts of the locker room. He was just eating up everything. It's directed by Oliver Stone, Natural Born Killers. Cameron Diaz.
It's gotta be LL Cool J.
Yeah, Jamie Foxx.
Yeah.
James Wood. Aaron Eckhart. Yeah. Solid.
Also, it has amazing use of actual football players. Ricky Waters is used a lot as a running back in a couple of the teams.
Are you sure it wasn't Orlando Jones?
No, LT.
There's a guy in there.
LT was in it.
LT gets some love.
I wasn't sure if anybody was going to mention, but I want to make sure it gets dropped. The Program.
Mm-hmm.
Are you guys familiar with the Program?
No, I am not familiar with the Program.
Not a big deal, Brian. It's all good.
Are you going to steal that from you, TJ?
Nope. No, you didn't. It's all good. No. The Program.
I was worried
it wasn't one of my picks that's written down.
I was worried it wasn't going to get mentioned. TJ, take it away.
That was
Tell
like
us
one of
about
those
the
things where, like, when you're in high school, if you're on a football team, regardless if you're a third string quarterback that no coaches really cared about because you were little and couldn't throw the ball more 15 yards. I'm not talking from personal experience. But what I'm saying is, when you want to
He's talking from personal experience. TJ's kind of
the coach would be like, "Watch the program. It's everything you want in football." And like, they would be like,
TJ sticking a needle in his ass and then his face
Yeah.
it's like, oh, this is so much right now. But the program actually has like great actors. James Caan is the coach. That's the only actor I can remember for.
Omar Epps, right?
Yeah, Halle Berry, young Halle Berry,
Orlando Jones.
Because, I always thought of it as like a companion piece to Higher Learning. For some reason, those movies like exist in the same school for me. I was like, man, fucking Omar Epps had a rough year, boy. He's just not
goes hand in hand with loving basketball too. You know what I mean? You play
right? It's too much.
Yeah.
What about We Are the Titans? Remember the Titans?
What is happening right now?
I've never seen it.
What?
You never seen
You've
Remember
never
the
seen
Titans?
Remember the Titans?
Yeah,
Very inspiring.
Very fun.
Great, cool.
All right, well,
Just Denzel. Denzel's it up.
that's
What about
I was
Little
gonna say,
Giants?
I'm not going
I
to go
love
into it
Little
'cause I'd rather
Giants.
you watch it.
Wait, can we talk
What is
about
happening?
Little Giants?
Why is everyone taking all of my picks and just spreading them out again amongst yourselves? All right,
Wait,
Brian, I'm not going to
what?
talk about Remember the Titans other than that is my hands down my favorite football movie ever. But if talking about it will ruin it for you, get a chance, watch it, especially with your son. It's inspiring. It's a really, really good movie.
And then there's We Are Marshall too. Those are two different movies, right?
We Are Marshall's more of a different type of football movie.
Yeah, way different. There's not a lot of football in that.
I also like a lot of Hoosiers and Teen Wolf.
As long as it's not baseball movies other than The Sandlot, that's fine.
I figured
my movie.
talking about some soccer bullshit, trying to drop like football.
And then like
Oh, the Big Green.
The Big Green.
Yep. But along the Big Green lines, I'm going straight. Yeah, I'm dropping Little Giants.
Sure, I love Little Giants.
That's the movie that I watch all the
feeling
time.
it, man. It gets points right off the bat.
Yeah.
Speaking of having awesome NFL players in a movie,
yes,
John
great use of
Madden,
NFL players.
Emmett Smith. It's hysterical though, because no Giants show up.
Well, that's just because given it's Emmett Smith, Bruce Smith, some Dallas Cowboy who's a lineman, the blonde-haired guy with a thing. The wide receiver. Who is the wide receiver? I have no idea. Regardless.
But the annexation of Puerto Rico.
Yes, that's a good one too. Annexation of Puerto Rico. Well, I mean, that's like the one because it was just like that was along the lines of playing your Big Greens and your Sandlots and having Rookie of the Year and those type of movies at that time. Like as goofy as it was an underdog story, Mighty Duck style that were like as a kid. That's what you wanted to watch. Like those are the movies that's heartwarming as it. So that'd be my football pick.
Now, a Eagles fan, what's your thoughts on Invincible? Because I thought it was a pretty boring movie.
Look, I never heard anything about Vincent Polish in my life.
That's like a true story about TJ, isn't it?
What about Rudy?
Yeah,
and also it's just
Rudy.
like. No, it's just like it's literally just like Rudy, where like a lot of that stuff didn't happen, and they just kind of built it up for a movie. That's cool. Vincent Polly still goes to 7-Eleven down the street from me. He lives right down around the block. He's a regular guy. Mark Wahlberg playing him makes no sense. So it's one of those things.
Can I be honest?
Yeah.
I did not expect this topic to be so in depth. I'm impressed.
Yo, you know what? I'm sorry. I'm looking at a list right here, but if anyone listening wants a really obscure movie, not really about football,
throwaway topic. Sorry,
but about fandom and a really like dark comedy. There's a movie called Big Fan.
Oh yeah, that's a really good Michael Rappaport.
It's just like the covers look like fun romp with the guy from King of Queens. It's fucking
really good.
It's like a dark stalker dark comedy.
Mm-hmm.
But is it like
starring Patton Oswalt?
But is it like The Fan from like
Yeah,
Robert De
it's
Niro?
just like The Fan, but it's a little bit more comical. It's not as dark as The Fan, but it definitely gets there. But it's
It's
literally
more
like
realistic.
social media and Twitter guys these days, but through radio calls. It's
Mm.
fucking nuts. It's like trolling to the top of its. But Patton Oswalt kills it.
Yeah, it's good.
But
It's
speaking
a
of
really good
killing,
movie.
Joe, we'll move on to your topic. And
I almost jumped on
What
that one. I was like,
Well, killing me softly with your segues.
Anyways, yeah.
Hey. I have been rewatching all of the Final Destination films this past week. They're rebooting. They're going to reboot the series, why you could just make another one. So I decided to rewatch them.
There's an argument that they close the loop, and I feel like in the 5 movies they have make a single universe. I don't know. There's an argument to be made there.
I'm not against it. Like it's not. It wouldn't be a hard one to be like, oh, this thing happened. Like the loop never really closed.
yeah,
Because death happens every second.
yeah.
It just those were those particular stories, and they would just reference. The
I
other
feel
ones.
like the last. Have you seen the last one, Joe? Did you finish the last one?
Yeah, I actually like the last one has the best. Like just how they tie it in, and if you're not paying attention, you're.
I felt like they just took a hammer and just hammered it in like by force. The last one, but I think it has the funnest deaths of the last part of the movies.
No, I love that.
Yeah.
Wraparound connector to the first one. I love that.
So I like
I'm alone.
what I like in it, because I saw it in theaters actually.
Yeah, me too.
Was that, and I haven't seen it since. It's great on with that one in particular. It's only good on the first watch. After that, you're like, oh, they're laying in on thick that he's going to France towards the end of it. Like you know that shit's coming now.
Yeah.
It's cool though to see the explosion happen in the sky and like how they're went on the plane.
I just watched the first one before we wrapped up. It's pretty good. It's still a solid film.
Yeah, so I finished all 5 of them last week. And my topic is just best deaths in movies. It doesn't have to be anything in particular. I just think, this series has some really fun horror movie deaths.
I'm saying it right now. If any one of y'all, one of your best deaths is a motherfucker falling off a building or a cliff, you can get the fuck out of here.
No.
I'm gonna start just in case.
So you should. So and
I don't think nobody's gonna steal mine, but I'm just gonna start just in case. My pick is RoboCop first, the toxic waste guy. So we have the villain, the lackey that is about to run over RoboCop, and he misses RoboCop and he crashes into a vat of toxic waste, and he just washes out and he's just melting and he's just trying to breathe and he barely can breathe and he's just screaming, "Help me!" And then he walks in front of a car and the main bad guy just explodes him like Gallagher explodes melons. Yes. He just went with a hammer Gallagher style and just destroys him. That's like one of my favorite deaths ever. It's so impregnated. And I saw that when I was a kid. And I was
traumatizing. I saw it way too young.
I was rewinding it. I was like, what the fuck? Just not in that language, because I'm a gentleman when I was a little boy. I was wearing my bow tie and my school uniform.
Also, it was in Spanish, right?
What happened there? ¿Qué pasó? And I just rewinding it because I was just blown away because I couldn't believe they exploded a man. I was a kid, so I didn't understand the special effects. I was like, how did this man blow up? Because usually when a car hits in movies, they go right into the windshield and they just roll away. And this guy just went firecrackers in the air. So that's my favorite movie death.
It's a good one.
And then also out of RoboCop, how do you pick out of that?
So much, yeah.
The guy who gets blown away by the Ed 209 is a great one too.
And even Murphy, when he's just being
when Murphy gets massacred, that's grim as fuck.
That's mine.
I'm gonna jump in here and there's easy ones. There's like Quint and guys like that, but I want to go for like the weird ones, which I you guys are used to with me. I want to go to Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Paul Rubin when he gets fucking stabbed.
That.
That's the one that like me and my brother we did all the time growing up. Like you stick a fucking ruler into the armpit and you're like, oh, for like 25 minutes. You kick the wall. You're doing the whole 9. Like there's so many to choose from. But when it comes to like those like the memorable and like favorites, like there's so many gruesome ones, and so
that's a great one.
Yeah, but like that was the one that like you just did over and over again with your friends. Like,
why didn't you pick that fucking movie to watch in the podcast?
It's not like it's not in my queue for eventual. I mean, we're on episode 17, so you never know could come episode 230.
That's a great movie. I forgot about it. Yeah, that's great.
Oh, and Josh Whedon wrote it, and I'm pretty sure directed it at the same time. So like it's one of those. It's definitely a hidden treasure, but just like out of all those ones, that's the one that stuck with me because everyone has those fake sword fights with their friend, and you do the sticking with each other, and everyone pretends to have that like the dramatic death. And Paul Rubin to a T. If everyone doesn't know who Paul Rubin is, he's Pee Wee Herman. Plays the lackey of the head vampire and
masturbates in movie theaters.
Yeah.
This is like
what
I
actor
had seen
doesn't
him after that. He had that scandal and gone away, and then he came back in Buffy. That was like the first time I ever saw
and also, what actor doesn't do that nowadays? So
I think that shit is fucking quaint.
Fucking Timothy Chalamet always fucking jerking off in Starbucks.
I mean,
allegedly.
I think about it now, like at least they were jerking off in a place that you're supposed to jerk off. Like they didn't trap somebody in a closet and jerk off at him or jerk off into a potted plant. Him and some other celebrities, they were at least busted in a place where jerking off is what you're there to do.
Yes.
Like so the bar has been changed so much since that ruined him.
So Paul Rubin,
come back and blow
with you. All right, just so you know, we stand with you, Paul Rubin.
Allegedly.
You can come on. You can come to our podcast and masturbate anytime.
That's consent. That's consent from Yusuf. It's from us 3. So, who's next?
Brian.
Me? Oh, good. Mine came. It took me a second, and there's some really great ones. I was thinking about some older movies and stuff, but then I remembered that because you guys kept talking about Final Destination, and it's in Final Destination 2. We just like get relief from a very tense scene where we think the kid is going to choke to death on the little rubber thing that falls in his mouth in the dentist's office. He finally gets away. Whew. He runs out and he scares some pigeons, and the pigeons fly up and they scare a crane operator. The crane operator drops this plate glass, and this kid fucking like bends in 4 different places as he it is. I must rewound that shit. That was one of the first things I ever like. Oop, guess I'll try out my frame advance on my DVD. That shit.
Are you trying it on that? I tried it on. Oh, I think I saw a boob. That's when I was like,
well, fair enough.
60%, 32%.
I was already old enough to see boobs by the time DVDs were a thing. So that's
like a
little bit. But
it's like in Final Destination 3, like the chicks in the hot in the tanning beds. You're like, all right, they're not burnt yet.
Best of both worlds. Also, honorable mention, Final Destination 2 to the guy who gets cut into like 5 or 6 pieces by that flying piece of fence.
Oh yeah, that was great,
dude. And that piece of fence flies through him, and he falls into all those sections. That's a good one too.
Wait, that's in 3,
2 or 3 movies.
Oh, that's in 2.
So clever.
Oh, there's another fence. There was a couple fence deaths.
This is like a barbed wire fence. It blows up.
Yeah.
And
oh, okay. No, I'm thinking of the one, the mechanic.
Also, the kid at the very end. Damn, that movie's full of good ones.
Yep.
I really liked 3 of the Final Destinations of their death. Like to me, like the roller coaster ones.
Yeah.
And 2 has
memorable in those movies.
2 has the most palm sweaty one with the intro scene.
The highway,
with the highway, because
you're most familiar with. Like that's a thing that everybody can relate to.
We drive every day.
Every freeway that you come on now, you just think of a car crash is about to happen.
Oh, you see one of those trucks with the fucking logs on it, forget about it. Like, I'm getting so far away from that thing. I'm like, well, I guess we're doing 90, but I can't see that thing anymore. So,
are you picking one from the first one?
No, I was just gonna say a death that really like surprised me. It doesn't come from Final Destination. I just wanted to talk about Final Destination.
Oh, I wanted to say why. Sorry, I'm gonna jump on
although
it.
I won't go with the fire escape. The freaking through the eye is a great death. He escapes, climbs down. He's like, oh, thank God.
That one's really great. All the different ways you think he's gonna get it,
Yep.
like before that happens.
I wanted to ask, what the fuck did that teacher do to Death? Because everybody else like dies a quick death, and she just gets like fucked up. She gets a glass to the neck.
The knife
She gets
falling.
fire.
I think
Knife.
I love the dribble of vodka that catches on fire. Little bits of that.
I think she just like honestly like was such a dick to him that that's the punishment.
Truth, though,
No,
the reason she gets the most elaborate death scene is because I'm pretty sure that actress was married to the director of the film at the time.
oh, I see.
Oh.
I will say this. I want to call out though, the Final Destination
That's 4,
for
right?
having for and not as bad as I think its reviews are. Like if you're doing a rewatch, it just feels like the rest of them.
It's probably the worst, but it's not bad by like a lot.
It's the worst one. I rate so I with Letterboxd, I have to give a star rating when I log them, and I gave each one a 3.
Not a sponsor.
That's how I felt. But in the Final Destination, I gotta call out the unnecessary racist redneck character who just drops a hard N-bomb to another character, and then just has a really he dies. But it's not like it just doesn't feel like a
for
big,
you.
Yeah, it wasn't enough. It doesn't feel like a big payoff.
Who does it say it to?
He says it to Bubba from Forrest Gump.
Orlando
He's a
Jones.
security guard. No, my death that I think's a great movie death, super underrated, is in Dawn of the Dead, the remake. When it's in the intro when she goes out and you see that guy like stop and the fucking ambulance just comes and smacks him.
Yes.
It sets that for me. It set that tone of that movie, and you're like, what the fuck? Because that was like, fun, and I laughed.
When they do the pan out shot and they're showing all the chaos, and then you see the car hit the filling station and it blows up. That's another scene that I was like, oh, this movie's just going for it. Like,
I'll tell you what. My favorite thing in that entire movie, my favorite scene is when the husband at the very beginning is chasing after his wife as she's backing out of the driveway and she pulls off and they get in the POV of him like running towards her, but then he just takes off to the neighbor who's just sitting out front, just like he just skirts right to her just to take her down, eat her. Like that's the best scene of that movie. You're just like, okay, we're off and running with this. It's perfect.
What do you guys think about that rumored Zack Snyder movie that he's going back to zombies, the only legit good movie he has?
Should have stopped with Dawn of the Dead
or something. It's not supposed to be a sequel to his Dawn of the Dead, though, right?
No. He wants to work. That's what I think of the rumor.
Visually, he's a very talented director.
I like.
I wish he would like go back to like letting someone else write and him maybe do more of it. It's the way I feel about M. Night too. Like let someone else write for you and you just worry about making the film. Like you do the movie making part because you're really strong at that.
I feel like both of them would be great cinematographers.
Yeah.
Oh,
he'd be great at that, but unfortunately he doesn't know how to step back. Just like me. I don't know how to step back.
Told how great they are, why would they step back?
Well, yeah, that's what I was saying. Like,
I mean, they could sidestep.
Well, for a big step back, I did that. I gave you guys a good movie last time. I was able to suggest a movie.
Oh,
this time I was not. Yeah, I was not able to do that.
We're going in here.
So, obviously, with everyone's reactions, before we get into the movie that I picked, I want to give you the state of film we were in at this point in time. So I'll bring you back to 1993. You're going into the summer where you get Jurassic Park, Free Willy, Hocus Pocus, Rookie of the Year, Coneheads, Robin Hood Men Tights. You get all these classic comedies and great coming-of-age films. So I picked a movie that came a year after Three Ninjas and a year before Surf Ninjas. Because when I was a kid, I wanted to be a ninja. So I made these guys watch.
What you're forgetting is you're not mentioning is TMNT came out in 90, and then like everything was ninjas for the next couple of years.
Yes. Everybody wanted to do it. Ernie Reyes Jr. took over the world with all of his karate. So I made these guys watch Sidekicks. The Jonathan
Guys,
Brandis.
this movie has not been pulled from anything except for a Betamax disc.
Yes.
They didn't put it on a VHS, and it's on YouTube. You can watch it. You can't rent it anywhere. It's great, but awful.
I love
It kind of doesn't have a point.
Context that I think is important for this movie.
No. I love to make fun of this movie.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
wait.
Okay.
So you got this. The premise of this movie is that this kid fantasizes about being best friends and like going through action movie scenarios with Chuck Norris. Now, this movie far predates the Chuck Norris meme. And as a kid who was like 12 when this movie came out, I can tell you that this movie seriously overestimated how much kids gave a fuck about Chuck Norris.
Well, funny you say that. Chuck Norris's brother directed it, and the only reason why Chuck Norris did that is because he was doing a
only
favor.
Other credits are other Chuck Norris movies and fucking episodes of Walker Texas Ranger, which there's a Walker Texas Ranger in the middle of this movie, by the way.
Yeah. Well, so you got to realize that his brother just wants to be his brother's sidekick, because that's such a low aspiration to just want to be the sidekick. Jonathan Brandis' self-esteem in that movie was so low that he couldn't be Batman. He wanted to be Robin.
Whoa.
Wait, are we jumping in the movie? Because I want to talk about the soft porn parody that starts the movie off.
That's what I was going to say. Since we already see that we love this movie, Yusef, can you start off and hit us with some positive? So go.
I have 4 notes of pages, but I'm gonna just pick and choose my moments because I can.
Welcome to Flyover State of Film, where we'll be the only podcast in the history to be talking about Chuck Norris'
series about sidekicks. Just everybody buckle up here.
No, I felt like okay, so I wanna give credit first to the poster because the poster is fucking awesome. It's a yin yang poster of Chuck Norris and the kids are kicking, and the tagline is a dreamer. Wait, I have it here. A dreamer and a champion, an unbeatable team. I mean, that's just fucking poetic. Cool. Like you can't beat that. But I really have a problem with the asthma in this movie because I don't think the movie actually has a good thing on how asthmatics take their medications, because that's not how you do it, like at all. You don't go.
Jesus Christ.
This movie has that 90s thing, just like The Sandlot, where like they thought that if you just worked hard, you could get over asthma. Like you're just not trying. Hey, you're an asthmatic. You know what you need to do? Run. You need to start running more. Like that's their answer. Just work through it.
They treat asthma like he has like no offense on it, like he has like cerebral palsy. They're like, ooh, like he really shouldn't be.
Oh, the doctor.
What a freak. Like it's awful.
The doctor's like his lungs are fine.
The doctor says his lungs are fine. It's
the
on his
doctor
head.
literally says he has no scarring in his lungs. It's like, oh,
I would have been like, can you check his fucking head? He clearly has a tumor. Like he's hallucinating things.
Right.
Okay.
We're not. That's what we find out too. That's what blew me away. Like I didn't remember. So this movie, it's not just that he has these like elaborate. Like he doesn't write stories and he literally like blacks out and has these like full on like loses touch with reality and has these full on like out of body experiences where he like loses time and wakes. One time he wakes up in an ambulance. He was having an adventure and then he's in a fucking ambulance.
That's not what happened.
That scene.
False.
That scene fucked me up though.
I'm calling false.
Because when I was a kid,
the girl tells him that she likes him but doesn't like him like that.
Not
he
just any
home,
girl. You're selling it short. It's Winnie fucking Cooper.
That's Winnie Cooper, baby.
Yeah, Winnie Cooper. He tries to take his inhaler, then he slams it on the ground and says, "I'm gonna beat you," because that's what you can do with asthma. If you talk to it, you can beat it.
So,
And then he wakes up in an ambulance.
he has a fantasy though. There's a fantasy there where he like literally, I can't remember which one, and then he wakes up in it. It's just like,
No, I'm gonna.
Well,
I remember
guys-
because it fucked me up. I remember the fantasy is a torture scene where they're squeezing his lungs and he can't.
Yeah, that's what it is.
You know, it fucked me
Yes.
up because I
Yes,
had an
right,
asthma
right.
attack that put me in the ICU for 2 fucking weeks. I couldn't
Holy
breathe
shit.
and I almost died.
So
And
I
that
put
scene
you
was like
PTSD,
too
huh?
real.
he's
And I-
Chuck Norris.
And I was cured by medicine, not by a fucking black magic rub from an Asian man. And I also like
That scene was
ran and
weird.
swam and my lungs got better. But they treat the karate and the mystic art of karate like this fucking Asian man came over and cured his asthma. It's like,
One
yeah,
thing I
fucking
will say-
exercises.
This movie's a blatant Karate Kid ripoff, but their Miyagi actually teaches karate. He doesn't teach waxing
Thank
and
you.
sanding. He's like block, upper. You know what I mean? He has like legit moves he's helping with. So I got to
Okay.
give this movie that one.
He was
The Kung Fu.
conditioning. He was like, you gotta run. you
But
gotta
Go ahead, Joe, before I tap in.
but the karate in this movie is just, hey, anyone can come compete. Oh, hey, like it's not a competition for children. Anyone, you can do some interpretive kick dance. Just a nice interpretive kick dance at the end of it. Oh wait, you're a woman. You can't do karate. You just kick dance.
Shiny keys jumping around. I just want somebody to walk up and just grab him and slam him down on the ground.
Like, and they're
so-
like the fucking bricks. They don't even do it. They're like he broke 7 bricks. He's trying a 9 stones. That's not how this shit works.
Are we talking
Now,
about the tournament now? Sorry, I didn't.
I'm talking about everything. Also,
Yeah,
I
didn't
think
realize- we're not
Jonathan
going linear.
Brandis.
It's not a linear
No,
show. You're
I think
like,
Jonathan. Yeah, I think Jonathan Brandis, I just thought this, grew up to be Albert Brenneman, the protagonist in Hitch, because he also throws his inhaler away to go kiss a girl. Ooh, Kevin James is old.
grow
John-
Can we back up and talk about the karate teacher? How much
That's what I'm
Joe
saying.
Piscopo.
how
Yep.
much cocaine does that guy takes before each class of karate? Like he pronounces it.
He's like a caricature of the dude from Karate Kid. Like, you know what I mean? Like
He looks-
he's just a joke.
He
Well,
looks like somebody that thinks he's good at karaoke.
I was gonna say the one thing you got from this that you didn't get in Karate Kid is the one scene where, like, look, if you're doing these type of movies where you're having a kid who has these things, he's getting bullied, he has asthma, he has these issues, and he never, like in Karate Kid, Danielson only fights Johnny at the end of the movie and has the one
as it
kick
should
that up.
be.
Jonathan goes toe to toe, or Jonathan Brandis, Barry Gabrowski, or whatever it's Gabrewski, whatever his name is in this
You gonna
movie.
defend this movie with the fight scene?
No, but
Well, he
that's-
goes toe to toe
doesn't
with the
fight
kid in the
Yeah,
gym.
They have competition, but they don't fight.
But then they have like the most anticlimactic bullshit ending ever. Like they've been
Also,
building up this rivalry, and they're like, "We're
Every
just gonna
weekend.
break bricks."
Oh, you mean a
We're not
kid
gonna
jerking
do
off to a Chuck Norris magazine in a wheelchair? Yeah. Yeah, what a great ending.
Well, I was
I'm not getting to that yet.
I'm glad we got to that because now I want to know.
No,
if
we
Chuck
can't get
Norris-
to that yet.
No. Let's leave the ending to the
You
end.
gotta wait for that. That's a big
Fine,
part.
fine, all right.
Let's go back to the karate teacher. He looks like somebody that masturbates to a Sears catalog.
See, but I don't think the rivalry was built up
I-
between the kids. I think the rivalry was beat up between him and Chuck Norris because that entire scene in the beginning was like, Chuck Norris? Pfft. That whole thing. Then he goes and walks and
No, he
finds
didn't
his
do
way
that.
to-
He didn't say, yeah, Chuck Norris is some fucking actor, kid. I'm teaching karate. He went, Chuck Norris doesn't do this because I kicked his ass. And then he did a big old line off the Jonathan Brandis' forehead.
One of
And he
the
said, get out of my room.
He looks like he practices his art on his wife.
Jonathan
Although,
Brandis
I
has
wanna
the
say
best
this.
hair in the game.
Real star of the movie, Bo Bridges.
Hey,
Yeah.
Bo Bridges. Shout
everybody.
out.
Bo Bridges
I got
showed up.
to say about Bo Bridges.
Bo Bridges was
that Asian man.
he played the father of Christian Slater and Fred Savage and in this movie played the father of Jonathan Brandis. He's America's dad.
Father of Jason Lee, and My Name is Earl.
America's dad.
America's fucking dad. I like My Name is Earl.
Yeah.
Bo Bridges is the real hero of this movie because he lands that hot teacher, and honestly, just he's the real winner of this fucking movie. Not because of that, but then he's just also like, my kid's not a nerd anymore.
Can we talk about
girlfriend?
Teachers? Can we talk about the cliche of 90s teachers who are the goddamn instigators of these kids getting bullied? So you have a bully picking on a kid in a class.
Wait a minute. I object to the use of the term bullying. This is some totally justified ribbing that Barry is getting after reading a fucking humiliating story in the middle class.
Very wary.
You fucking deserve every little bit of making fun of you.
Yeah.
You read your fanfic about how you want to be a fucking Chuck Norris's boy toy in the middle of my fucking class. You better believe that I'm gonna be making fun of you for the rest of your life.
No, I'm talking about when like
Ryan has a point.
How was school today? Well, some fucking freak read some
bullying.
fan fiction about it. Wants to finger Chuck Norris.
If this movie's like the prime example for pro bullying. If nobody bullied him, he would be a fucking asthmatic kid in a corner.
He would have killed himself.
Bullying made his life better.
Well,
Jonathan Brandis made sidekicks. Then he went to go make ladybugs. Then he killed himself.
Jesus Christ, Joe.
Can we talk about the bully?
You can't leave Sequest out of this.
The bully was like the nicest bully
I
I've
will
ever
not
seen.
live in a world where we erase Sequest, all right?
You do
That had
not
a
erase
fucking
Sequest.
dolphin on it.
My apologies to Sequest and Jonathan Brandis' estate.
Roy Schneider was a god.
That guy, hey, you respect Jonathan Brandis. He was almost our Ghostbuster.
Also, his hair
Was our
is
ghost
perfect.
No, he wasn't.
Yes, he
Also,
was.
okay, well, I was
I do
gonna
that
say, teachers and
Oh,
bullying,
shit, you're
the whole
right.
thing where like you call a student out and then you tell the student that if it wasn't for that one student, if he got the answer wrong, he'd be stupid. And that student beats that student up, blah. But Jonathan Brandis, how about this cliche? He's a good-looking fucking kid. There's no way he's the dork of the high
Yes,
school.
That Andrew Garfield thing in Spider-Man where you're like, there's no way this guy's the dork of the school. He's all
Yeah.
handsome with
Yes,
great
that's-
hair and shit.
Yes,
He's dressed like Eddie Furlong from T2. He looks awesome.
It's all
No,
about
His inhaler,
I
it looks like a big dildo. It's like this long too. It's not like some little inhaler. It's all big and shit.
So
I will say this about the bullying of Jonathan Brandis. They put him at the right
Justified bullying.
age to not be like, oh, wow, that kid's like a stud. Like, he shouldn't be like bullied. Like, I feel like there were kids that were like relatively like normal dudes that were just like nerds as kids.
I mean,
still.
he
Like,
did look
I
like he
believe
wrote
that.
a lot of poetry.
Like
But-
if that kid was in high school, no way.
The bully wasn't that bad. He just tore the front page of the magazine. Like, he could read the rest of the magazine easily. It was just the
But
front
Brian
page.
said he got deservedly bullied.
It wasn't that bad.
You just gotta have, you know what? Like, you just gotta have some self-awareness. This whole thing of like everything is totally right and good, and you know there's no room for criticism because this is how he feels about Chuck Norris. No, fuck that. You wrote some dumb, embarrassing shit. That's hilarious, and I am not gonna be forgetting about it anytime soon.
It's
You
kind
know,
of-
you know who
it's-
deserves to be bullied? You know who deserves to be bullied though in this entire fucking movie? Is the tournament sign-up guy. He's the prime example of a small amount of power going straight to his head. He's
need
like,
to
you need
Four
four.
people.
Or you're saying Chuck Norris, fuck off, Asian
Next,
man.
please. Next,
Well,
please.
It's kind of guys like how on Twitter or in our world, we
Don't
just
call me out.
we deserve to call someone out if you have something fucking stupid out there. But then it's like, why aren't you so nice to us?
I wanted Chuck Norris to roundhouse kick that motherfucker in the face.
I had a
you know-
question for you three.
Yeah. Wait. Actually, I want to backtrack a little bit. Are we really skipping over the racist ass fantasy where the cokehead wife beater is Asian man with the mustache
Yeah.
and the painting of the
What's wrong
eyes?
with those?
I was watching that sequence and I was like, 90s racist. Oh, so good.
Drops a. They calls the dude like a.
chick.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Calls him. calls him, yeah,
Oh
calls him
yeah,
that.
because you don't want to offend the Asian
He calls
people
him-
too.
yeah, he calls him a chink. All right,
He said,
whatever.
which one are you
And-
talking about?
Resident minority say those
and
words.
he's-
He's
and-
de facto powers.
Yeah, and he's just like, it's just like one of those ones you're like, what? This is just on a subway station.
I mean, the guy does get it though. He gets his and he gets basically arrested.
I really didn't like the teacher. He was like eating up the scenery. He was having fun with the.
You know,
with the,
he was supposed to be Mr. Miyagi. He auditioned, or I should
He
say.
should have been. No, that's not true. That's a lie. Sorry.
Well, speaking of that, I have a question for all three of you guys, real fast. Who won in the fight? Mr. Lee, who was the old gentleman in this, Mr. Miyagi, or Jackie Chan as Mr. Miyagi?
Jackie
Go.
Chan.
Yeah, Jackie
Yeah.
Chan had it.
Jackie Chan.
Okay, yeah, Jackie Chan always wins.
I think you could do a better, like just between the two, just between this guy and Mr. Miyagi. What do you think?
This
I
guy,
think it's
I think
pretty.
it's gonna be Jackie.
I think it's Miyagi too.
I
He
think
was
it's
in
this guy.
war and shit.
Like he just put that blonde bitch in his corner easily.
Yeah, okay. I know this. Mr. Miyagi's
Yeah,
drone
and he
was
beat
like,
those kids' asses with no fucking he wasn't sorry at all. This guy just danced around and spilled hot soup on those bikers, but he didn't really do
Just for his free sex, yeah.
and spilled hot soup on them.
do you know what his real name is?
It
Mr.
came
Lee?
down to it. Miyagi beat ass on those kids.
You know who- yeah, well, he beat kids up. So just, he beat kids. Okay, also,
He
90s
beat up
movies.
kids. They needed a beating.
What's up with
They needed a bully.
what's up with pop-up biker gangs? And out
Right,
of
they used to
nowhere.
go up.
Yeah, it's
They
like a,
look-
You know
they
what,
look like
TJ?
Grease rejects.
This movie is a great companion piece to Airborne for you.
it's a good one.
Like,
It
they're
is
the
a good
same
one.
movie.
But I also have the winner in the Mr. Miyagi battle because Mr. Lee's name, it's just Mako. That's it. His
Yeah,
name's
he's like-
Mako.
he's a pretty famous guy, I think.
He's killed somebody.
Yeah, I think he does well. I think he did well in his career.
Now, let's get to the real meat and heart of this movie. The last 2 minutes. Because I want everyone's thoughts on this last 2 minutes.
I want to go last.
Wait,
Okay.
hold on. We didn't talk about the lady doing her dancing. Why was that part of the trend?
She was seducing Bo.
No,
Martial arts.
it's not even that it was a part of the tournament. It's that, how is that allowed? Like, how was she allowed? How was fucking Chuck Norris allowed to be like, I'm part of the team?
All of
He
you
was
are
like the
missing.
sponsor
No.
of the
All
thing
of
or
you are
whatever.
missing.
Yes, he just joins in.
All of you are missing
fuck-
the actual
kick
question you have to ask
dancing. Yeah.
yourself is where did they get the uniforms?
Oh, I love Jonathan Brandis' outfit. That
Oh,
shit
Laura,
was
you're right in
fly-
time for what I'm about to show Flyover. I'm going to recreate the kicking.
Uh-oh.
The
Oh,
the
damn.
she just
We have our own.
fucking kicked up,
Jonathan Brandis right here.
just all over the place. Just the
Yeah. It was not strong.
no,
I
no.
like-
And then
That's
that-
the goofiest scene of the movie.
I like the
When I was glad they did that they show the girl doing so much better than her, and then they actually gave the point to the girl who did good.
It's called.
I was like, what is? Why they got a whole team thing? What
Well,
is
why?
this?
Why was she dressed like the painting of the girl with the pearl earring?
hey, man,
That's a good
you-
question.
It's a
Like her
karate.
Her
Karate.
outfit was ridiculous.
It's a karate traditional garment.
No, it's not.
Karate.
Mr. Lee broke
Yep.
bricks in an apron. Let him alone.
Why did he? Like, he came from the restaurant. No, he was there all day. He didn't need his fucking apron on.
No, he left. He had to do dump.
Let him- the
Yeah,
restaurant came
that's
back and
why.
thought he was gonna make it.
All right,
It was
real
very
quick.
dramatic.
I just worked out. I'm a mess.
Are we all right? We
Let's get to the-
really have to talk about the hallucinations
Yes.
and that ending.
Now, I want to ask you guys a question. Are we on some collateral beauty type shit?
I want to go last.
Was Chuck Norris really there? Is he a mystical creature? Was this one big dream and the kid lost first round and never ever got to compete? Like, give me all of your thoughts.
Okay.
This last 2
I'll
minutes, I do
start.
not remember. And start with
I'll
Joe.
start. I'll
Yes.
start.
Joe,
I-
Brian, Yusuf, or Joe,
I
Brian,
thought
and I'll go. and
I
then Yusuf last.
actually rewound it because I thought I was like, no shit. The little kid in the wheelchair was reading this story out of the Chuck Norris magazine. That's what I thought happened.
I like
But
that's
it's
an
not.
interesting hallucination, but that's not no.
It's not. I actually think it. I think it happened, and then they were just like, they were just these kids like, I'm inspired to do karate now. It made no sense. Honestly, this was just a way to sell Bowflex.
Okay.
Total body gym, man. Total body gym. How dare you, Bowflex? How dare you?
Here's what I think happens. I think Chuck Norris does like take pity on Jonathan Brandis and join his team, and that all happens. But then it's just like it's over and they win, and Chuck Norris is like, okay, pat on the back, see you later, peace. But then Jonathan Brandis goes out to the bench with his magazine, and he's like has this like heartfelt delusion with himself that like is more in keeping with all the other stuff that has been going on in the movie. And then he leaves his magazine, and Wheelchair Kid rolls up. And what I posit here is if training martial arts, this movie tells you that training martial arts can cure your asthma, does that mean Wheelchair Kid will walk/kick again?
Yes. Yes. That is what
Is
this
he
movie
on
is
the
telling
path
you.
to recovery just by getting that magazine in his hand? You know, Jonathan Brandis, he overcame his asthma. I think this kid can overcome his wheelchair.
Or is
I'm
this
going to
movie
build
good?
on that one.
Yes.
But go ahead, TJ.
As someone who's loved this movie growing up and glad to introduce you guys to
Yeah,
this.
you're a fucking idiot.
To this movie. I don't remember that scene at all, so I really have no thoughts on it. So I want you to build on it, and then we'll just.
All right. So the key detail that everybody clearly missed, is that every single hallucination was real. There is one moment in one of the hallucinations where he escapes an army search party, and he walks away from the screen. The kid is no longer there, hence the POV of the crazy kid is not on screen, and there's a helmet, an army helmet that rolls into screen. So everything that he's seeing is real. So the magazine is a Jumanji. The magazine is a Jumanji type vehicle. So yes,
And my
Brian.
theory was ridiculous.
So yes, Brian, the magazine is gonna cure the kid. He's gonna walk. He's
In
gonna
the world of the magazine, he has legs. He can working legs.
We married.
I actually like that. I would watch a Sidekick sequel where you found out that was the deal, and like the ripped magazine, and the kid like he's like, whoa, and he gets sucked in and shit.
Well, today it would be a Kindle.
All right. Ratings.
The
Brian.
Jumanji became a cartridge. I get it right.
Out
Yeah.
of 10.
Yeah.
Out of 10.
Out of 10.
Out of 10.
Ooh.
Oh God.
Brian, go.
Oof. It's pretty fucking bad. Like a 4.
Fuck. Joe.
Oh, it's a 2.
You said
It's a 2. And the 2 is pure enjoyability of how dumb it is.
How did this get made? Because I know they did Ladybugs, and I was like, is there a how did this get made for Sidekicks?
There should be, but honestly, I think they would probably do it because it's just on YouTube.
Yusef, what's your score, bud? Help.
So I'm gonna give you 2 scores. I'm gonna give you a score if I would have seen this movie when I was a kid. If I seen this movie as a kid, I would have fucking loved it. I would have been 9 out of 10 because it falls right in line with Three Ninjas and all the white kids kicking ass.
Nice.
Now I give it 5 flaming bricks out of 10 because me and my wife had so much fun making fun of this movie.
There is
I was laughing so much
on that front. I will say, I'll give it.
Yeah, that's where the 2 stars come
where
from.
the 4 comes in.
Gotcha.
Me and my wife were just laughing so hard. She gave you props, TJ. She was like, "You picked a great movie to make fun of," and I was like, "He's not trying to make fun of it." And she was like, "Oh."
All right.
TJ has the poster.
I'll take this. I'll take those 5 flaming bricks. I'm gonna call in one more flaming brick. One more. I'm giving it 6 out of 10 because it's my heart and Jonathan Brandis, R.I.P. You're a star. With that being said,
I still don't care about him.
Brian, you got us next week, man. What do we got?
Whew. Man, I really feel like since we started this podcast, we've been on a journey, and we're getting ready to go on a real journey. We're gonna, in the coming months, Spoiler alert, we're going to journey across lands and meet up. And I really feel like we've got a real fellowship going here. And I feel like there's one gap that needs to be filled before this meetup can happen. So in the next 2 weeks, you have 2 weeks, but I demand the complete Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Oh, fucking yes!
Yes.
Within the next 2 weeks.
Mother.
That's got to be a special
fucker.
episode. We might have to make that entire episode just
Just
Lord
Oh,
of the Rings.
Laura.
Yes.
Make me watch Lord of the Rings.
Now, I will feel like
Brian,
this.
that's going to be.
You don't have to worry about the Hobbit movies, and you don't even have to seek out the extended editions. Just traditional Lord of the Rings is fine. Theatrical cut is fine.
I'm so happy that you did that. Yeah, that entire episode we'll put some little news in there, but that might be a whole.
I was gonna
Lord of the
be
Rings
fine. I was gonna be fine with Fellowship, and then you went full trilogy. Like I'm hard right now,
yep.
so I'm happy.
I'm about to start now, right after this episode.
Right now.
Okay.
Oh, here he comes. He's got something. He's got something in the works.
All
There it is.
Blu-ray
I
there.
have three
Okay, there you
films.
go.
It's
Having those
the theatrical one.
All right, we're gonna kill it.
Dude.
It's a long time.
Yep.
All right, Joe. Where can the people find you?
Apparently, not leaving my apartment and quitting my job because we watched Lord of the Rings.
Off into the mystical realm.
You're going to Hobbiton.
Oh, little bitch. Do you want a full report from me on this?
Yep.
Yeah, well, that's going to be the podcast.
Yeah. I expect you to come with some heat.
All right.
Make sure you follow at Chendango at Twitter.
You're gonna
Yeah, follow me
follow
on Chendango1. And follow me at jonathanbrandisfanpage.com/he did.
Brian.
You know where to find me, man. You can find me on Twitter at Hurstgillies. You can find the DVD Bunker wherever you listen to podcasts. I did record a new episode with one Mr. TJ Dex that is just needing to be edited before it gets put up probably next week. And aside from that, you can find me right here.
Awesome. So I want to give Brian props. I think this is the only episode out of 17 where he didn't mention the DVD Bunker throughout the episode. That's impressive. You showed restraint.
You can find me on the DVD Bunker.
I didn't get that one of those beautiful natural plugs. You guys usually serve me up a good
Yeah.
little
We didn't talk about Tremors.
whyIlovemovies.com at whyIlovemovies and TJ.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Brian mentioned it in the first 3 minutes of this podcast. We can go back and figure that out, but I'm like 98% sure he did. I'm at TJ Dex on Twitter. You're on Movie Squad now. You're watching Flyover State of Film. Check out our Hobbs and Shaw breakdown by Youssef. Check out the Avengers Endgame breakdown. Guys, we go real in depth in these breakdowns. We take
Hit like and subscribe.
We take hours. We go nuts. Like,
comment below, baby.
Bang, 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 bang. Have a good night, guys. Episode 17. Peace.